After reading a few books and watching over 100 videos on dating and relationships, I managed to put together a fail-proof, tried and tested roadmap for navigating the dating scene. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that this isn't your typical get any guy or girl you want playbook. I'm not going to teach you how to maximize your chances of picking up any girl or attracting a whole bunch of guys, because I don't know this stuff. I'm not a pickup artist, and honestly, I wouldn't enjoy one's lifestyle anyway. What you will find here though is a framework that will make the entire dating process easier and much more enjoyable. And this includes things like how to avoid wasting time with the wrong person, or how to protect yourself as much as possible from stress and disappointment, or how to make all of it effortless. Now you might wonder, why on earth would I take dating advice from a nerd? Like, these two things seem incompatible at the very least, don't they? Well, for starters, I spent quite a lot of time reflecting and journaling about my past experiences, and adding the countless real-life situations and scenarios I got to witness in the videos I watched, I can very confidently say that I know what doesn't work. A very simple understanding of how attraction truly works can save you a lot of time and emotional pain, for example. And so I'll do my best to keep you away from making mistakes that are guaranteed to fail in the long term, whether it's something you do or just the mentality and expectations you have. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Interestingly enough, the best pieces of advice are usually the most obvious ones, and in our pursuit of finding the magic formula that's going to instantly solve our problems, we tend to overlook them. But there is no magic formula. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to find a special pickup line or a secret behavior that's going to get you the partner of your dreams. Our best bet is to get the foundation right, to get back to the basics and the obvious stuff and start building from there. With that in mind, the following idea is instrumental to refining your mindset in dating. Attraction is not a choice. You cannot simply decide to be attracted to someone because it has nothing to do with rationality. They're either attracted to you or they're not. There's no middle ground. The universe, God, the nature, or whatever you want to call it, has already taken care of these things, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Now, that's not to say that if you're a 6 out of 10 in their eyes, you can't become more attractive. You can, and you can even become a 10 if you do the right things consistently. But if you're a 4 or below, it means they're not attracted to you, and the best thing to do is just move on. Accepting this as a fact of life is crucial, because it will save you from being miserable. Perhaps you've been in a situation like this before. You really like someone and you wanna make it work, but they're not as excited about you. Still, you don't give up, and you try and you try and you do your best to make it work, but with no results. Now you think that there's something wrong with you, or that you're not good enough for that person, which most of the times is completely false. So what happened is that you've wasted a lot of time, energy and effort, and now your self-esteem is hurting because you just couldn't give up on someone that clearly didn't want you. It's like trying to open a wine bottle with a spoon. It just will not work because there is no compatibility. The second thing to keep in mind for a great dating experience is that the right person will make it effortless. They'll initiate conversations, they'll be genuinely interested about you, and they'll even suggest rescheduling a date if they're not available on a specific day. Crazy, right? In short, if they like you, they'll make it easy for you, and that's how it's supposed to be, really. And so why would you want to go through the pain of talking to someone who's not making any effort, who's not easy to talk to, and who might not even show up according to the plans you've both agreed on? The less interested they are about you, the higher the chance they'll be unreliable, and ultimately cause you a great amount of stress and insecurity. A very useful skill, let's say, in today's dating scene is learning to pick up on clues and hints. Because more often than not, the other person will not want to hurt your feelings by telling you straight up, I'm not interested. Learn to read between the lines, because if you stay hung up on the wrong person, you'll not only have a miserable time, but you'll also miss other potentially great opportunities, like the new girl or guy in your friend group. You never know, maybe they would have been a much better fit. Now, if you want to assess someone's level of interest in you, pay attention to their actions. They are the ones that truly matter, regardless of what they tell you. So for example, if they take a lot of time to respond to your texts, or they never initiate conversations, or they seem to never agree to a specific day and time to go out with you, that's enough of a hint that you should back off, because you're wasting your time. In this regard, a great thing I've learned from Stephen Bartlett, who you probably know from the Diary of a CEO podcast, is that being able to quit with ease when something no longer serves you is just as important as having the courage to start something new. Alright, now that we know how the right person can make things effortless, let's dive into the next tip, which is going to make it a lot easier to find such a person. Make your list. Actually create a list with the features that your ideal partner would have. How do they look like? What interests do they have? What music do they listen to, etc. Be as specific as you want, but remember to write everything that's really important to you without holding back. It's just a list. Nobody's going to see it, so nobody's going to judge you. You have complete freedom. Having this list is much more important than you think. Besides getting to know yourself better by laying out your preferences on paper, you'll notice that this type of person will now stand out from the rest. It's like the red car theory. If you're randomly walking down the street, no car will catch your attention. But if you're thinking of buying a red car, you'll suddenly start to see red cars everywhere in traffic. And it's the same with romantic partners. Having a clear picture of what it is that you're looking for will significantly boost your chances of stumbling upon it. Now, it's obvious that if your list has 20 or 30 items, finding someone who ticks every single box is pretty much impossible. But that's not the point. The bottom line is that the list will save you a lot of time and disappointment because it will make you laser focused on the people who are close to what you want, and this way you get to avoid the interactions which stand no chance of flourishing. The fourth tip is to focus on having fun during a date. Too many people neglect their own enjoyment and do stuff just to please the other person, not because they particularly want to. It's the wrong approach. What I mean is that it's okay to be a little bit selfish, because if you're having fun, there's a high chance that they'll feel good as well. You know the rules in an airplane, right? If the cabin gets depressurized, you must put the oxygen mask on yourself first, because this way you're able to help the other passengers as well. And it's the same in dating. The mood and energy of the interaction is much more important than the actual activities. So if it's up to you, be a little selfish and choose something you'd enjoy. You might just be surprised to see that your date is having a lot of fun as well. The other thing here that most people forget is that you should keep the interaction positive. If you're constantly complaining and talking about negative stuff from the past, you'll inevitably kill the mood. There will be tension, discomfort, and even awkwardness. What you really want is for the other person to associate positive emotions to being with you, not endless complaining. So before saying something potentially negative, it's worth taking a moment and asking yourself, is this going to generate positive emotions in them? Or another way to put it, is what I'm about to say make me look good in their eyes? Like if you start complaining that your past relationship was miserable because your ex was a selfish, ungrateful prick, will that make you look like an honorable and mature person? Probably not. Now let me give you an example of how you can make things easy and fun from a guy's perspective. In the early stages of dating especially, your job as a guy is to take care of the logistics, like planning the date, making reservations to wherever you will go, and maybe even sorting out transportation. You want to do all of this stuff so she doesn't have to go through the burden and discomfort of decision making. If she's particularly shy, then having to make choices with someone she doesn't know very well can be quite nerve-wracking. What if she picks something you're not into? Or what if you'll blame the shortcomings of the date on her? You see, that can be pretty stressful. These are obstacles in her way of enjoying the date, and that's why you need to make sure they are taken care of in advance. If you do this, then she will get to focus on the connection between you, meaning that if she really likes you, she'll love to share everything about herself. And if you really like her, you'll be fascinated by anything she says, so you'll want to ask questions and find out even more. It will be effortless, and these kinds of dates are the ones that truly stand out. The last thing to keep in mind, which is super important for maintaining a healthy relationship over the long term, is that courtship never ends. One of the biggest pitfalls couples face in relationships is becoming too comfortable and complacent and not putting in the effort after a while. For example, guys stop planning those special dates, they don't make little gestures anymore, and women start neglecting their appearance. Like they stop caring about how they dress up and stuff like that. These kinds of things might have a negative impact on your partner, but more importantly, they will affect you in a bad way. Because complacency will steal the fun out of your life and you'll end up miserable in a mediocre relationship. Just think about it. Women love to make themselves pretty, right? It's fun, it puts them in a better mood, and overall it makes them feel better about themselves. And guys love the thrill and the adventure of planning out a great date in advance. It's like doing different quests in a video game, making reservations at a restaurant, choosing fun activities to do afterwards, or organizing a road trip, and so on. It's really exciting, so why would you give up on that? Why would you give up on doing these fun things for yourself and for your partner after becoming comfortable with one another? It makes no sense. And so here's how you avoid all of that. This mindset shift made everything click for me. And if you manage to internalize it, you'll never have to deal with such issues in the future. Think about this. Before meeting your partner, you probably put in a lot of effort to attract other people, right? Technically, at this point, they were strangers to you. And so the question is, why would you make an effort for a stranger, but not for your partner, who you absolutely love? If we didn't take them for granted, wouldn't we want to be the best versions of ourselves for them? Why not make them proud to be with us, really? Like, imagine your partner being grateful and secretly thanking God every single day for having you by their side. Isn't that the most exciting thing ever? It is for me. And remember, you're not just putting in the effort for them. You're also doing it for yourself. You want to be pretty or successful or whatever it is because that's who you are. A relationship isn't supposed to strip you of your uniqueness, no matter the reasons. All of that being said, the key takeaway of this video is that dating and also relationships should be fun and exciting, not a source of stress and anxiety. Rather than hating your life when trying to make it work with the wrong person, you'd be much better off alone. This way, you'll also be available for the next great person that will show up when you least expect it. And that will be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to press the like button and subscribe to the channel because it helps me a lot. Thanks for staying until the end, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye!